Hope you are doing well. Today, horror incident about unseen entity or demon. This is the story of Alex. Alex always says that when you invite things from the other world into yours, you must be careful because it is difficult to send them back once they arrive. He advises against such actions to avoid bringing unwanted spirits into your life. Alex shared a story about a medical college where, in the early 1970s, during the night shift, some doctors tried to call spirits using a Ouija board. They were curious and thought it would be fun to try and communicate with a spirit. One night they successfully called a spirit. The spirit said he was a poor man who had died in a truck accident while riding his bike, and he was only 21 years old. At first the doctors were excited. They asked the spirit many questions and he answered them. But when they asked him to leave, the spirit refused. He said he was alone and that they had called him, so he would not go. This caused much fear and disturbance among the doctors. They didn't know what to do next as the spirit refused to leave. The doctors ran away from the room, terrified. They didn't sleep well that night, and the next day they told everyone about what happened. The spirit eventually left, but the fear and disturbance he caused remained. The doctors and staff couldn't forget that night. They never tried to cause spirits again. Another story from Alex tells about when he was a university student. Now, Alex has trouble sleeping and has health issues like high blood pressure. But back then, he used to teach tuition to support himself financially. He lived far away from the place where he taught. And the family he taught lived on the second floor of a building. The father's office was on the first floor, and Alex taught the kids in the office area. The kids were weak in their exams, so one day the family offered Alex a place to stay for a few months while their children prepared for exams. His family was initially against it because sometimes he came back home late, but he convinced them and started living there. The house had a warehouse on the first floor, which was also used as an office. Alex would teach the children in the office area. Everything seemed fine at first, but then strange things started to happen. One night, while Alex was singing a song, he felt his bed move. He initially ignored it, thinking it was his imagination. However, as days went by, the feeling continued, and one night he felt someone blow into his ear. Scared, he read holy verses all night. The next morning, when he went to university, he consulted a religious scholar who gave him some advice on how to read holy verses. He followed the advice and felt at peace for a few days. But then, one night, he felt the presence of a child sitting under his bed. He ignored it and tried to sleep. In a dream, his hand and leg were tied to the bed, and a woman was sitting behind him. In his mother's voice, the woman said, "You harmed my kids and burned my children. Why did you do that? We gave you a place to live." Alex was terrified and ran out of the house, leaving everything behind. From that day onwards, he struggled with sleep, feeling haunted by the whispers. The family tried to help him, but he continued to feel the presence and hear the whispers, which made it difficult for him to sleep. After the terrifying experience, Alex decided to move out of the house where he had been teaching. He explained everything to the family, and they understood his fear. They were sorry that he had experienced such frightening events while staying with them. Alex packed his belongings and moved back to his family's home. Once back home, Alex felt a little safer, but the memories of the strange events continued to haunt him. He found it hard to sleep and often woke up in the middle of the night, sweating and anxious. He would read holy verses and pray, hoping to find peace. Alex's family noticed how disturbed he was and decided to seek help from a religious scholar. The scholar listened to Alex's story and gave him more advice on how to protect himself from unwanted spirits. He taught Alex specific prayers and holy verses to read before going to bed. Alex followed the scholar's advice diligently. He read the holy verses every night and placed a small talisman under his pillow, as suggested by the scholar. Slowly, he began to feel a bit more at ease. The nightmares became less frequent, and he felt a little more relaxed. Alex decided to focus on his studies and his future. He spent more time with his family and friends, trying to put the terrifying experiences behind him. He graduated from university and got a job that he enjoyed. He continued to teach tuition, but he made sure never to stay overnight at anyone's house again. With time, Alex's health improved and he started sleeping better. He still had occasional nightmares, but they were not as frequent or as disturbing as before. He learned to cope with his fears and found comfort in his faith and family. Alex often shared his story with others, especially younger students and friends. He wanted to warn them about the dangers of inviting spirits into their lives, he would say. When you invite things from the other world into yours, you must be careful because it is difficult to send them back once they arrive. People listened to Alex's story with wide eyes, feeling both scared and amazed. They promised themselves never to try to call spirits or mess with things they didn't understand. Alex felt that by sharing his experiences, he was helping others avoid the same mistakes and fears he had faced. Years went by, and Alex continued to live a peaceful life. He got married and had children of his own. He made sure to teach them about the importance of faith and the dangers of meddling with the unknown. His children listened to his stories with fascination, but understood the seriousness of his warnings. Alex found joy in his family and his work. He felt that he had overcome the fears of his past and had grown stronger because of them. He continued to read holy verses and pray, feeling grateful for the peace he had found. Alex's story teaches an important lesson. It is best not to invite spirits or mess with the unknown. If you ever encounter something strange or frightening, seek help from someone wise and knowledgeable. Faith and prayers can provide comfort and protection, and it is important to stay strong and believe in the power of good. It's my advice, if you ever visit, remember to be careful around the river and the forest. For the spirits that are hungry for fear, always inquire about the house before move in. Keep yourself and others safe from any type of scary activity. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.